Hello and welcome to the Horsemanship and Mindset podcast with your host, Kimberly Dunn of Idlewild Horsemanship and Mindset Coaching. This podcast is here to bring you the very best in tips, tricks, and advice to help you better understand yourself, your mindset, and your horse, because your horsemanship starts with you. Let's go. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horsemanship and Mindset podcast. I am delighted to be here. I'm delighted to have you here. And I'm delighted that I am considerably less full of the flu-y cold thing that I had today than I was last week. I am not 100% by any means, but I am considerably better. I hope this episode finds you well as well. So, today or this week, what I wanted to talk about was something that my clients, when I work with them, struggle with the most. So when I work with the clients inside the Enlightened Equestrian program or in Recalibrate, which is the kind of shorter, more condensed version of packages that I offer, um, each week after our call, I set them action items. So there's usually an action item with their horse or an action item with, like, say, for instance, if we're doing the program, there'll be an action item within the program. So I don't know, finishing up on a certain unit in their online curriculum or something. And then I set an action item of self-care. So out of the three, which do you think everyone struggles with the most? You guessed it, self-care. So, first of all, I just want to talk about why I set action items. So, action items are just a really, really great way of helping you stay accountable and helping me kind of chase you up and make sure these things are getting done so that you are able to create new habits within your mindset, but also within the time you spend with your horse. Now, the self-care element of that is really, really important because it's one that we often ignore. And you've heard the sayings, you can't pour from an empty cup and you need to put your own oxygen mask on first. Because if you don't do those things and you're running on a low battery, then you can't be your best self for the people around you, and you certainly can't be your best self for your horse. So this is where the self-care action items come in. And I've been meaning to talk about this for a while now because it's such an important one, but it's also the one that everybody struggles with. The amount of times I've had to help clients I've had to train clients to be able to think of self-care things to do to help fill their cup, to help them feel more energized or more relaxed, to help them let go of the day. Um, so I wanted to talk about it today because I want you, the listener, whether you've worked with me or not, whether you're thinking about working with me, it doesn't matter. I want you to be able to have a think about this for yourself and ask yourself, like, am I doing things for myself that are filling my cup, that are energizing me, that are helping me to relax one way or another? Because if we don't look after ourselves, how are we supposed to look after our horses? Um, and I know that, along with that comes the whole, yeah, well, I'm really busy. I've got kids, I've got however many horses, I work full time, I've got other pets. Like, we are very good as humans at filling our day up. Now, these self-care practices don't have to be you run a bubble bath and you sit for an hour in the bath. It doesn't have to be booking yourself into a spa or taking yourself out for dinner or a hairdressing appointment or any of that stuff. It doesn't have to be a big extravagant thing. It just needs to be, as always with these things, something small that you commit to, that you do often, that is for you. And I think especially if you are a mum or you are caring for, other people, maybe you have to look after your you've got a sick parent or auntie or uncle or something. I don't know. We all have commitments, don't we? We all have things on our plate. We all have things that keep us busy. But this is why it's so important to make time for you too, because at the end of the day, you only get one life. You've got to put something back into you. And again, like if you're finding me saying this, like not necessarily offensive, but kind of abrasive, and like you're feeling the need to push back on that again with that, I'm so busy, I don't have time for that, then I would invite you to kind of sit with that and look at, okay, why am I feeling resistance to helping myself? Why am I feeling so much resistance to that? And I used to be like that. I used to take so much pride, and I think this is a bit of a British thing as well, in like you take so much pride in working the hardest, in doing the most, in like being self-sacrificing and yeah, all that's great. It's great to work hard, it's great to do all the things, it's great to help others, but if we are not looking after ourselves, we cannot be our best selves and help people or help your horse to the best of your ability. You can't get all the jobs done to the best of your ability. You just can't do it. So, I'm going to give you some suggestions of self-care things that you can do that are easy to sprinkle into your day that will make a difference to your life. They will make a difference to your nervous system if it's a little fried. They will make a difference to your mental load, to your mindset. And the thing is, if we can do these things and we can kind of bring a little bit of calm, bring a little bit of clarity into our minds, then that opens it up for more joy, for more calm. And it opens up the ability for you to be making more progress with your horse. Because if you think, like I've spoken about basic needs before, um, where, if you show up to the yard and you have not drunk enough water that day, so you've got a massive headache, or you've not eaten, so when you get there, you're hungry, or, you haven't allowed yourself to come down from a stressful day at work. And so you get there and you're kind of all antsy and, you don't have as much patience as you normally would, or you haven't slept, or all those things. That is the same, that's the same thing. And I want you to look at self-care in that same light as, yeah, you got to care for yourself, because if you're not, then your horse is going to, yeah, you're not going to have the best relationship that you could with your horse. And I think I've just now made the same point about 65 times from 65 angles, but hopefully by now it's kind of landing with you that, yeah, okay, self-care is important. And that's why when I work with clients, I am getting them each week to think of something. It doesn't have to be the same thing every week. It can be something different, but that's going to get you thinking more about, okay, yeah, I do need to look after myself. And when I do, I feel so much better and I'm capable of so much more. This stuff isn't complicated. It's another one that's really not complicated. It's pretty easy to think about and implement when you know how. So anyway, enough about the whys. So here's some things you can sprinkle in. Whether you are busy, if you're a busy horse owner, if you've got kids, if you've got a full-time job and kids and a horse and a dog, all the things. Here are some things that are going to help you. So, the first thing that you can do is set an alarm on your phone. And this is for the people that forget. This is for the people that I do this. I always forget, right? Okay, yeah, I wanted to sit for 5 minutes and just, think about whatever. So set an alarm on your phone. And if you're listening right now and you're not driving, get your phone out. Ooh, just dropped my little thing that I was throwing around in my hand. So, yeah, set an alarm on your phone for, I don't know, let's say, what's a good time at night? So let's say 9 p.m. And it's a reminder to meditate for 5 minutes. There are so many good meditation apps out there now. The one I actually really recommend is there's a lady she's on Spotify. She's probably on iTunes as well. She's got a podcast called, what should it be called? Molly's Mornings. And I just love her meditations, but she also has an app out called the Wild Minds app, and it is actually free. It's so good. So it's free. It's, one of those ones where you can add paid stuff on if you want. But she has mantras that you can do, like a 3-minute mantra that changes each day, and a 10 to 12-minute meditation that changes each day. So, for instance, today's was a mantra on being lucky and a meditation on being lucky. So you could, if you don't have much time, you could be like, right, okay, I'm going to set an alarm for 9 o'clock and I'm going to do the 3-minute mantras. And for just 3 minutes, you are carving out 3 minutes for yourself to, repeat a couple of times. I'm so lucky. I am blah, blah, blah. Or you can do the meditation, which is 10 minutes, and that's just 10 minutes, 10 minutes to carve out in your day. Now, if you can't fit 10 minutes in a whole day for you, you're doing something wrong. Because I bet you any money you've got 10 minutes to doom scroll on your phone. Or you've got 10 minutes to fall down a TikTok hole looking at the benefits of, I don't know, jumping up and down, which is actually a thing, by the way. I should do a podcast episode on that one day. So if you can do that, you can set an alarm on your phone and you can do a meditation. Or you do 5 minutes of journaling, writing about your day, one way or another, or a gratitude practice. All of that stuff sounds little, but it's you carving out time for you. It could be read a chapter of a book every day. I cannot begin to tell you how much reading has helped me switch my brain off, get the hell away from my phone, and just open up my mind in so many different ways. Reading is awesome. So buy a book that you heard someone going on about. Read a chapter a day. Or if that feels too much, like a whole chapter, I don't have time to do that. That feels too much. Read a page a day and go from there. If any of the things I've mentioned feels too much, if you think, God, I haven't got 5 minutes, okay, let's do 2 minutes then. You can find 2 minutes in your day to meditate. You can find I'm easily distracted. I won't be able to do that. Okay, well, find something else then. There's other mindful practices you can do. Yoga is a great one. And again, I don't have time to do yoga. You do, because if you go on YouTube and you look up Yoga with Adriene, who's my favorite, I'm telling you all my favorite things. She has got so many different yoga videos. You just look at her playlists on YouTube. And there's yoga there for 5 minutes. There's yoga there for 6 minutes, for 10 minutes. Because often I'll think, I want to do a bit of yoga. And I think, oh, God, I haven't got an hour or I haven't got half an hour. And there's like a little 15-minute, 20-minute one. The benefits of moving your body are immense on your body, on your mind, on your nervous system. So look up Yoga with Adriene. She's got so many videos. And it will make you feel better. It is self-care. Other suggestions, bringing in a daily walk. Okay, I don't have time for a daily walk. Well, what about if you just do 10 minutes? Again, this is exactly the same as horse training. Just break it all down. If you think to yourself, I don't have time or I don't have the motivation, set an alarm in your phone, write it in your diary, just walk around the block. That one walk around the block will bring you peace. It will move your body. Again, I've spoken about this before, but walking is a really great, basically everything I've just spoken about, but walking is a really great way of calming your nervous system, because as you walk, your eyes are scanning from left to right, which helps to not shut down, but switches off the amygdala in your head, in your brain. Which is kind of like the emotion center, so it helps you to calm down. The other thing that goes along with that actually is in the getting outside. If you're not listening to a podcast or voice noting your friend, listening to the birds as you walk is also really calming for the nervous system. So when you are outside and you can hear the birds, it is a primal programming within us that when we hear bird song, we are safe because the birds are singing, the birds are happy, they're relaxed, And so we can be happy and relaxed. So, like birds will stop singing when there's a predator around, or they'll be, a bit shouty. So birdsong, that's why birdsong is so relaxing to us, because it's a signal to our primal part of our brain that all is well and you are safe. Okay. So that's and then of course you've got lovely scenery and you're moving your body. Walking is a really, really great one. And that's something that you could do. Okay, like I need to do a 5-minute walk, or I need to go to the shop. I'm going to walk. How can you bring more walking in? How can you start to notice more things like the birds? So what have we got in here? So we've got plenty of movement. So bits of yoga, bits of walking, bits of meditation, maybe a gratitude or journaling practice, reading a book. Screen time on your phone is another self-care thing. Again, this stuff doesn't have to be complicated, and you don't have to book yourself into a spa. So how can you, because we all know how bad our screens are for us and how bad our phones are and social media is. So, okay, so my self-care action item this week might be, right, I am going to put my phone in a drawer from 8 p.m. in an evening, and that's it. Or I'm going to put my phone on airplane mode from 8 p.m. onwards. Or it might be in the morning, I am not going to look at my phone for the first half an hour that I'm awake. Again, sounds like a little thing, but that is self-care. Okay. There is a lot of science behind that, and blue light, and also dopamine. I'm not an expert on this and I can't remember the exact facts, but for instance, first thing in the morning, it's the first thing you do, which I'm guilty of this and I'm now trying to retrain myself out of it, is check social media. You are instantly like setting yourself on a little dopamine hunting cycle instantly. So by refraining from doing that from the first, I think ideally it's an hour, but first half hour, again, baby steps. That is perfect. I've started doing a thing now because I've basically, since I've moved, all of my routines have gone right out the bloody window. And I'm trying now to kind of, because of that, and because I've just moved, I've been feeling so kind of unrooted and scattered, and just like, I don't like feeling like that. I like to feel grounded. I like to have some kind of routine. And I've not felt like that. So I'm trying to kind of, now I'm not ill as well, reintroduce more of a rhythm and a routine. And so I am now starting my day I've got my sad lamp out. I'm practicing what I preach from last week. I've got my sad lamp out. So my alarm goes off. My electric blanket goes on. Oh my God, I love that thing. And then my sad lamp comes out. And then I go on my phone and I put on a couple of different meditations and listen to them. So I'm like loading my brain up, my sleepy brain, which is actually a really good time, by the way, because your brain's more susceptible to good things. If you have worked with me and you're listening to this, get your hypnotherapy, get your hypnosis recordings on. First thing in the morning. So I have my sad lamp on my face. I listen to a couple of like meditation-y things, load my brain up with good stuff, and then I get up. And I'm not allowed to look at anything I shouldn't be looking at on my phone. I just click on the meditations. I get the sad lamp on my face. Not on my face, but you know what I mean. And yeah, that's how I've been starting my day. And I'm 2 days in and already I'm feeling better for doing that. So yeah, it's just little things like that. Or classic. Here is a classic one for self-care. Do you drink enough water throughout the day? No, I don't. Okay, what is one small thing you can do that's going to help you to consume more water that doesn't feel like a slog? Here's one. When you get up, before you have your coffee, before you have your tea, while the kettle's boiling, have a glass of water. Bosh. It is not difficult. Okay, so if you're listening to this now and you're thinking, okay, maybe when you first started listening, you were thinking, I don't have time for this. This isn't important. This is really important, this stuff. Okay. Self-care is so important. Again, you don't have to put yourself into a spa. You don't have to get a nail appointment. You don't have to have a 10-hour bath. You just need to make little changes like this. So I want you to have a think about all these little changes that I've talked about that will improve your day, that will improve your mindset, that will improve your emotional, spiritual, horsey well-being. What can you do? Maybe it's do a better breakfast. This is another thing. I don't know what happened with me last week. I think, well, I was ill. That's what happened. But I stopped eating, which just never happens. And I was like had really weird eating habits. So this week, I'm like, right, come on. So I'm doing myself a little breakfast pot for the morning. So I'm doing it the night before. So now, if you stack all these things up as well, they make a difference. And it's all little things. It's not a big thing. So the night before, I'm making myself a little breakfast pot, which is quick and easy to eat in the morning. I don't have to do anything. I just get it out of the fridge and eat it. Wash. After I've done my little wake up thing. You know, these things. So I want you to have a think now, having heard me yabber on about this for a bit. I want you to have a think about, okay, what is one small thing I can change about my day that just brings in a little bit more self-care? It might be shutting yourself away in your office, in your bedroom, in your bathroom, locking the door if you have kids, just having a cup of tea and just listening to the birds outside. It might be starting to read a page of a book every day. It might be ringing a friend that you haven't spoke to in ages. It might be with your horse. Oh God, I haven't even spoken about this. Like with your horse, little self-care things. It might be when you're at the yard, before you do anything, get a cup of tea, tie your horse up with a hay net and just have a cup of tea. Just have a quiet moment. That's great for bonding, by the way. Grab a cup of tea, let your horse eat and just hang out with them and just drink your tea. Don't look at your phone. Listen to the sounds of the yard. Take a breather. It's, again. So a mindful cup of tea when you bring your horse in. Like there's so many ways you can bring this in. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that has made you realize that, first of all, self-care is very, very important. Second of all, it doesn't have to be complicated and it doesn't have to be extravagant. I mean, it can be extravagant. If you want to book yourself into a spa, book yourself into a spa. If you want to have a 10-hour bath, do it. But it can also be simple, easy, little tiny things. So I hope that was helpful today. In other news, if you would like to do the ultimate self-care and totally change your mindset and your relationship with your horse, I do have a couple of spaces to work with me, and there are so many ways you can do it. So I'll just reel them off. I won't dive in too much, but as always, there is the Enlightened Equestrian program. So that's kind of the big guns. That's working with me for 12 weeks. You get 13 calls, you get weekly support, you get WhatsApp support in between the calls, you get an online horsemanship curriculum, and it is a very deep transformational experience, fully guided by me, tailored to you, where you will transform your relationship with yourself and with your horse and grow your confidence along the way. And it is just wonderful. So that's that one. Then there's Recalibrate, which is the 4-session package. That's more kind of just focusing on your mindset and getting rid of limiting beliefs, etc., helping you to balance out your nervous system, all of the good things. And again, fully supported, fully guided. You get audio recordings, you get support in between calls. Recalibrate is a really lovely way to help you reset and recalibrate your mind. Then, of course, we are now approaching competition season. So I would be remiss if I did not mention the competition package. So competition package is 3 calls with me. And you will finish that with a bunch of tools and audio recordings to help you at shows. So whenever you go and compete, you can help ground yourself first. You can go out and compete calmly, confidently, and just enjoy it again, because I know a lot of people actually don't enjoy competing, but they do it anyway. If you work with me and do the competition package, you will enjoy it and you will be calm and focused and loving life in the old competition ring. So that is another option. What else do I have? If you are, the other thing, I've had a few messages recently about horsemanship kind of related questions. So of course, there's the Enlightened Equestrian program for that, but also I am reinstating online horsemanship consults. So if you are having a particular issue with your horse and you would like to work through it with me on a call, you can book me for an hour. It's £45. And basically what we'll do is we'll go over whatever the matter is. And I will give you a written plan to take away and work on. So we kind of discuss it. I give you some ideas, we look into different things, and then I will send you a plan to go away and work with and use. So that's that. And then if you are not quite ready for one-to-one work with me just yet, there is the Ride or Cry audio bundle, which is 4 audios that will help you transform your confidence on your phone, in your pocket. There is also the book, which is available on Amazon. I think that's it. Then, of course, just listen to the podcast, or there's the free audio download. I think that's everything. All of those things are linked in my bio on social media. You can send me an email, drop my email address below for more info on anything or to discuss anything. I think that's it. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a think about the self-care action items you want to bring in for yourself this week. And yeah, spring's coming, everyone. So let's all get a bit more positive. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'll see you next week.